back to my channel and a slightly different background if you didn't notice. Myself and John are currently down in Wexford for a week enjoying hopefully a bit of sunshine, but the sea and the beautiful scenery down here. I just finished my makeup, we're heading off to lunch, and I did like a quick kind of 10-minute makeup, and I thought I would take you through kind of the application, the products I used and the tools I used as well. So if you want to see how I create this really simple makeup look, just keep watching. Apologies for any noises, I'm not really in control of the noises because also the echo, because obviously we're not home. But anyway, we'll get started. I'm going to start out by using a primer. Primer is essential in my makeup application, so I'm going to use the Hylamide HA Blur Prismatic Blurring Surface Hydrator, and I'm going to apply this with my foundation brush. This is a Sigma Flat Kabuki, and I start in the middle of my face where it's the most oily and then blend it out. I've been using this a couple of weeks now and I've been quite enjoying it. Next up is foundation, and I'm just going to use a really light coverage foundation. This is the Nude Magique Cushion by L'Oreal. This has SPF 29, which is really good because we will probably be outside on the beach at some stage if the weather stays okay. So I'm going to apply a light layer of this using the same Kabuki brush. I just kind of dip it in, and again start in the middle where I need the most coverage and blend out. I'm not worrying about concealing blemishes or anything like that at this minute in time. I just kind of want to even out my skin tone. So one thing I can't skip is brows. I don't feel complete without my brows on. So I'm going to fill them in. I'm going to use the NYX Micro Brow Pencil. This is in the shade Ash Brown, and I really like this. So, and it comes with a spoolie on the end, which is always handy. So I'm going to fill in with this. I always just get rid of any excess product, and because I'm high maintenance I go over that with a powder as well. So this is the Freedom Duo Brow Powder in Soft Brown. So I just use the lightest shade on an angled brow brush. I find this locks in the colour for longer as well. Oh, and this is a blank canvas E30 brush, again with a spoolie on the end. And just to lock all the colour in place, I'm going to use the brow gel from the Soap & Glory R3 2-in-1 brow pencil. The brow pencil is a bit thick for me, but I like the brow gel. Again, primer, I'm going to use eyeshadow primer. This is Put a Lid On It by The Balm. This is my favourite at the minute. And I'll use a really light layer just over my lids. And then I'm going to use my, if I can open it, my Makeup Revolution contour palette, and I'm just going to use the lightest shades to set my lids. Now, of course you don't have to put eyeshadow on, but I'm just going to do the bare minimum. So I'm going to take like this shade from the contour palette as well. It's like a shimmery champagne colour, and I'm going to use that under my brow bone. I have from like plucking and the likes, I have kind of discoloration on my brow bone, so I always like to kind of conceal it if I can. And I don't mind a bit of shine under there either. So I'm going to use that. And then, keeping with the multitasking theme, I'm going to take the contour shade in it, which is this middle one. Well, there's 3 contour shades, but I use the middle one. And on a fluffy brush, this is the Sigma E40. I'm just going to apply a little bit of this into my crease. This kind of just adds a little bit of definition without going overboard. This is probably like quick makeup with a bit of effort put in. Like if I was just running down the shops or something, a bit of mascara and tinted moisturiser would do me. It would make me feel human. But I know we're kind of going for lunch and stuff, so I want to make a little bit of an effort. And then I'm just going to take In the Spotlight by Makeup Geek. This is a foiled kind of peachy shadow just on my fingertip. And I'm going to apply this just sparingly on my eyelid, just for a bit of something. This is such a pretty shade, it like catches the light really nicely. To conceal, I'm going to use first the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. I know everybody loves this and I do really like it, but the shades matches for me as like a really pale person aren't great. Like this is the light neutral and I still need to go over it with a lighter shade, but it does a really good job at concealing. So I'm going to apply that liberally. And then just again with my foundation brush, I'm just going to blend that in. I don't really blend this down because it is a little bit darker than my skin. And then over top of that, because again I have issues with using too many products, this is the Collection Lasting Perfection in Fair. And this does a good job of kind of lightening my under eye. And again, just blend this in with my concealer brush, or my foundation brush even. And I don't mind kind of bringing this more down the face. So probably the most important part in my makeup routine for me anyway is eyelashes. So I'm going to give them a good curl. This just makes me feel awake. I don't have great eyelashes, so I do work on them a little bit longer. I'm going to use my favourite mascara of the moment, the Fairy Drops Scandal Queen Waterproof Mascara. I just love this stuff. It has little fibres in it too that kind of help elongate your lashes, like literally. Can you see the difference? That's just like with one swoop. So before I finish my eyes, because I'm going to do a little bit more, I'm just going to set under there. So I'm going to use the yellow powder from the Makeup Revolution palette. I'm going to put a layer of that under. And then I'm going to put a layer of the lightest powder under too. Just because I want a little more something something, I'm going to take the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner in Stomper. It's just a dark brown. And I'm going to line my inner rim. And I'm just going to take my concealer. Well, this is the MAC Full Coverage Foundation, but I use this as concealer. It's in the shade NC20. And as you can see, it's well loved. I'm just going to use that over any places I want some extra coverage. Just using my finger because it's quick. And then on the lower lash line, this sounds like a lot of steps, but when I'm doing it, honestly, it doesn't feel like a lot. But I'm going to use the Makeup Geek, if I can get it out. I'm going to use the Makeup Geek Brown Sugar, which is like a chocolate brown with like a bit of shimmer running through it. And I'm just going to use a really light layer of this on my lower lash line. Just kind of brings things together without making too much of an effort. And I'm I'm just blending that out with my finger. I'm going to add a little layer of mascara on my bottom lashes too. A little layer, a light layer. I smudged it. We let the smudge dry for the minute and I'm going to blend in my concealer. Completely optional again, but just to add a little bit of definition, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild dual ended contour stick and use the contour side and just quickly add in a really light layer on, well, it wasn't that light, a layer on my non-existent cheekbones. And then for bronzer, I'm going to use the L'Oreal Glam Bronze Cushion de Soleil, which is a cushion bronzer, cream bronzer. I really like this. Kind of adds a light layer of warmth without looking too crazy. Although on camera it might, but in real life it doesn't. And I like to bring a little bit of this down. And I like to bring a little bit of this down my neck as well. And to set everything, I'm going to use the Ben Nye Cameo Powder. I use this all the time. And I'm just using a Real Techniques multitask brush, just a fluffy brush, and I kind of just whack it on really and apply it all over. I kind of dab it on so I don't disrupt the creams too much. So for blush, I'm going to use the Becca, what is it, the full title? The full title is the Becca x Jaclyn Hill Champagne Collection Face Palette. She's a pretty one. So I'm going to use the middle shade, which is Amaretto, which is like a, how would I describe it? It's like a warm tone, rosy bronze colour. It's really, really pretty though, and I actually thought it would be too dark for me, but I really like how it applies, because it's not too pink, so it just adds a bit of warmth to my skin. And this is the Zoeva Luxe Cheek Finish brush, which is a really nice blush brush. I actually had this blush on yesterday, and then what I'm going to do now is kind of mix Prosecco Pop and Champagne Pop, and I put my makeup on at about 7:30 yesterday, and the only thing left on my skin other than like my mascara and whatever was the blush and the highlighter. So that's a pretty good testament that like the rest of my makeup had disappeared and I still had highlight. And I'm going to do, mix both Champagne and Prosecco Pop really, really lightly, because again, these are probably a little bit too dark for me. Just apply them onto the cheekbones. I don't have any cheekbones. Onto the top of my cheeks. And I'll usually take my powder brush and kind of bounce it over top as well to kind of blend it in. And I'm going to take that mixture again and just put it in my inner corner. I do love a bit of inner corner highlight. Then just to finish the look off, I'm going to use the Barry M Matte Me Up Lip Crayon in number 3, which is, coming out. But it's like a matte, kind of browny, mauvey colour. So I'm going to apply a little layer of this. I have balm on my lips already, so this isn't going on as dry as it would normally. I just had a bit of a panic attack because I forgot to bring setting spray with me, and it's very important in my life, but I have to get over it and get on with it. So I'm just going to use the Dermalogica Multi-Active Toner to set my makeup and hope it might work. So this is the finished look with the hair a little bit coiffed to make me look a little bit better. Obviously, if I wasn't talking to the camera, it would make this kind of applying all them products a little bit quicker, and I promise you I could knock that out in 10 minutes. Obviously, if you want to cut down on time, you don't have to add eyeshadow if you don't want to. You don't have to add primer if you don't like primer and the likes. But like, this is kind of makeup that makes me feel put together, and it's done in a really short amount of time. So yeah, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you in my next one. Bye bye.